We got some new info regarding AEW Fight Forever Season 2 DLC. We're going to talk about Tony Storm, and the storm is coming, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot. But I also want to talk about what are some of the rumors out there regarding Season 3 content. But Season 2 for AEW Fight Forever has been out now for just like over a month. We have seen the DLC releases of the Acclaimed. We have seen the Towers mode in Beat the Elite, which is the singles match type, and you go through different difficulties and try to beat the Towers, and you could get some skins and t-shirts. I'm not trying to be a jerk with all of this. I want Fight Forever to do well, but the recent news that I found out is regarding Tony Storm as the third DLC, and I'm a little concerned with how this is going and what it could mean for Season 3 and possibly like Season 4 if they get to Season 4 content. But speaking of content, they did release patch 1.08 not that long ago. There is a huge list of bug fixes and updates that they have done with this over on THQ Nordic's site that you can go and deep dive, and I'll link the whole outline of what is in the updates in the description below. But some of the biggest things that they do include with the latest patch is going to be able to invite your friends and form parties within Stadium Stampede. And with Stadium Stampede, there's a lot of attention to it with their main fixes across all platforms, like voice chat, now being able to do party for solo types in Stadium Stampede. 2 new Stadium Stampede match types are playable as well, where you're going to be able to do Duo Stampede and Quad Stampede, presumably being able to do 2 players in your party or up to 4 people in your party for a Stadium Stampede match. You can check gamer tags online in Stampede. They added parts to the Create a Wrestler for male and female, and beyond that, lot of bug fixes. So no new match types, nothing really in depth here, smaller fixes, which is still good to see that they're supporting the game. However, focusing in on Stadium Stampede by adding dual and being able to add in quad Stampede parties, I don't think is what is needed at this time. If you look at the Steam player base as an example, the peak players in the last 30 days from November to the end of December is 30. So even if you are able to get into a lobby and play Stadium Stampede, you are not going to find enough players to fill it out to even do a quad play if you wanted to do that. Daily numbers on Steam, for example, also don't really ever cross 10 to like 15 active players playing the game. So again, it feels like they're focusing in on the wrong things, the things that players are not really keen on getting their hands on, and the patches don't really feel like they're timed out very well to coincide with any of the DLC content that they release, and giving us larger fixes, which is what fans are really hoping for since the game came out in the last like 6 months at this point. But one of the big additions to the game that is coming out, confirmed by AEW Games, is going to be Tony Storm. The Storm is coming as the final DLC pack that is in Season 2. Season 2 for that whole pass, by the way, to get all 3 pieces of content is going to be $25.99 on Steam or across consoles. And if I do look at Steam as of right now, there's a lot of holiday sales and things coming up. So like Fight Forever Season 1 content, you're going to find a lot of the individual DLC packs on sale right now, above like 30% off. So if you are somebody that bought the game day 1, you held on the DLC, you're going to get significant discounts if you did that. I've looked over at like Xbox Shop and there's no discounts there, so it's just going to be a timing thing if you are looking to get any of the discounts. Now, the release date for Tony Storm, The Storm is Coming DLC, hasn't been confirmed yet by AEW Games, but people have been posting online that there is pre-orders that have popped up, allowing you to pre-order it with the date of January 10th, 2024. This seems likely to be the case. They have rolled out the last 2 pieces of DLC very, very close together, which is actually surprising. I thought they would have stretched it out a little bit, but they've given us both the Acclaimed and the Towers mode for Beat the Elite, all in like 30 days of each other. And after the holidays into January, it seems very likely that we're going to be able to get Tony Storm. But with that DLC comes a few question marks here for what they're doing. Now, the release date is one thing, the price is a whole other ball game. Remember how I said the Season 2 pass, the season pass there, is $25.99 if you want to get all 3 pieces of content. Right now on the eShop, on the Nintendo eShop, they have Tony Storm listed right there. Could be just a placeholder, but it's listed Tony Storm as $11.99 and releasing in 2024. One character, $11.99 on their own. If you're somebody that's not interested in getting the season pass and you just want to be able to get the wrestler, It's a lot. It's a bold move.
What did you think was going to happen?
I didn't know.
Toni Storm is also not the updated Toni Storm. Her current iteration, her current gimmick that she has on TV with Timeless Toni Storm, we are getting Outcast version of Toni Storm. I tried to look a little bit further into this too to see if there's anything else to expect, because one character at $11.99 does seem like a lot. So I looked at the Xbox Marketplace to see in the store if there's anything else that they're going to include. Xbox's description of it does highlight Toni Storm along with 10 new tracks. Now AEW games could be giving us more. I wouldn't be too surprised if they did the audio tracks, Toni Storm, skins, t-shirts, that type of thing, because they have done that in the last couple of DLCs where you can kind of find some alt attires for different wrestlers, but nothing that's going to be really included with the DLC itself. No mentions of arenas, nothing else. So taken at face value and based on just Nintendo's eShop posting, $12 to get Toni Storm. What do you think? For context, even on like the 2K side, while I don't like the traditional DLC model, I wish everyone would do something a little bit different or modern. 2K, who doesn't do the best practices either, they released their Bad Bunny DLC, the single one. That was overpriced, and that was $9.99. That, while I do not appreciate that price point for one character in Bad Bunny, it was his updated look, a t-shirt, the My Faction cards, and an LWO shirt. It wasn't much of anything. It was not worth it or recommended to get that on its own for $9.99, because then even like a month later it was heavily discounted. This is $12. Now some might just say, get the season pass if you're gonna do that, because it's $25. So half the price just for one actual piece of content, piece of DLC in one wrestler. Just get the whole thing, because then there's the better value. I understand that, but from where I'm sitting, I didn't find Beat the Elite Towers Mode a good thing to add in as DLC. I didn't find it compelling enough to put in for the season pass. I think that should have just been a free update for the game. $12 for an individual piece of DLC is very high. It's higher than what other DLC, individual DLC, has been for Fight Forever. And the other thing to note too is where it stands with the player base, and also what players probably would want to do with their money at this point with this game. Because if you just simply wait a month until the next season of content drops, you're going to be able to get all of this almost 50% off. So if season 3 comes out in, let's say, February or March, and we'll talk more about season 3 in a second, but if that content comes out in a few months, you're probably going to be able to just get Toni Storm on her own for $5, which might be the better price point in the first place, because right now we're seeing all of that original DLC getting discounted. And as they go down this path of this seasonal content, it's really, really expensive. And if they're going to try and test the waters with individual DLC at $12 a pop, I don't think it's going to convince people to, one, do that on its own, and two, I don't think it's really compelling to even pick up the entire season pass, because I don't think there's enough in there. Which brings us to season 3. Now, Evil Uno on a Twitch stream did confirm that season 3 is coming. The question mark is about what content is going to be in there. Right now, the rumors online, everything is that we're going to see some more wrestlers in there as downloadable content in the season pass, such as Adam Copeland, Swerve Strickland, Saraya, and Claudio, just to name a few that are likely to be in season 3. Now, I think getting Edge, Adam Copeland in there is great. I love that Swerve would be included. I think those are big names that you would want to be able to buy, that you want to get your hands on. That could be a lot of value. Depends how they package it. But based on the track record right now for how they are packaging this season pass, I'm a little skeptical, and I'm very worried in terms of what the price points are going to be. If they're pricing Toni Storm at $12 individually, you gotta figure Adam Copeland is going to be the exact same thing. And with season 3, if we do get Swerve and Claudio and Saraya and Edge, Adam Copeland, that's great. But what else are you gonna put in there? Where I'm sitting, I could see them giving us a second round of the Beat the Elite mode, where they're gonna expand it into maybe tag teams or multi-man matches, something like that. Because if they don't, then what was the point of investing in it? If you don't give us more of Beat the Elite, and give us more rounds, matches, rewards, things like that, what was the point of putting it into the season pass unless they're just going to say it's a one and done and we're just trying different things like mini games and we're trying out the towers mode and then they come out with another idea for another season pass. That might be what they're trying to do here, where they're trying to give you different variations of different modes to put into the game to try and get you to buy the season pass, even though it's kind of like play it once and I'm done. And meanwhile, the core base, the people that want to support the game, that want to play the game, that want to have more fun with it, are sitting here waiting to see if they're going to fix things like the pin system, see if they're going to fix things like all of the match types, update within a new mode that they could put into the game. Something needs to be done. And a lot of players feel like it's just a really big decline for how this game has gone since its launch. And if you guys want to talk more about that, click right here because we go in depth on season 2 and the current state of AEW Fight Forever. Thanks for watching, subscribe to the channel, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.